See how this man makes his money. He sees the right moment. He calmly walks to his workstation when a car came up fast, knocked the man out. The oranges were also knocked out. The driver was stunned. He was on the ground waiting to be paid. That's when a man broke it to him. Jack, you should get another job. It's too dangerous a job. The man rolls over and sees Mike. It turns out the two men are old friends. Both used to be top scammers. Mike specializes in big scams. This time he found Jack to do something big. By now Mike had gathered all the members. And their target this time, Smith, who has been in the top 500 billionaires for years. The man has a problem. He likes to take advantage of things. After a meal with a friend, his friend paid the tip. He saw that his friend had gone away, so he quietly takes one out and puts it in his pocket. And that's exactly what they use to set a trap for the rich man. So Adam quietly dropped the lighter on the floor, and this succeeded in getting the rich man's attention. The rich man picked up the lighter and gave it back to Adam. Adam thanked him and wanted to buy him a drink, then managed to become friends with him. One day the two men were having a drink and talking. Adam pretended to find a wallet. He opened it. There was a lot of money and a business card inside. The card said the man was the owner of a well-known investment company and that he was staying at the hotel. So Adam asked the bellboy for his room number. He was going to return the wallet to him in person. No need to think that it was Mike who opened the door. At this point Mike offered them both some money as a thank you. Then Adam says, "I can't take this." Just then there was a knock on the door. It was Jack with a box of money for Mike to see, and all this was seen by the rich man. And that's when Mike said, "I've got an investment right here. Why don't I invest $5,000 in each of you? If I lose it, and if I make a profit, I'll give you both a share of the profits as a reward." The rich man heard that, so he left a card for Mike. He left a card for Mike and went away happy. But then they had to find a way to get the $40,000, because in 3 days, Mike was going to use the $40,000 as profit to lure the rich man in. So Jack went to the ATM machine, and he started to do something funny. First he took out a piece of money. Then he took the opportunity to put glue on the flap of the spit. And then he hid away, waiting for the fish to bite. Then a man comes over and withdraws the money. After a bit of manipulation, the money doesn't come out. After the man left, another FBI agent came by. Not surprisingly, the FBI also came back with no luck. At this point Jack saw that the time was right. He hammered the ATM machine twice. At that moment the money spilled out of the machine. On the other hand, Mary pretended to almost fall down. She took the opportunity to take someone else's wallet. Then she quickly transferred the wallet to Adam. That's how the $40,000 was quickly raised. So 3 days later Mike asked the two men to come and collect the money. "Here's the $40,000 we made on the investment. $20,000 each for you two." The rich man says, "$40,000 in 3 days on $5,000. You're making money too easily, aren't you?" At this point Adam says, "If it's so profitable, why don't we invest some more? Let's play a big game." But at this point, the rich man was a bit hesitant. He said he didn't want to invest anymore. "What should we do? You haven't ordered a single dish, and we'll have to pay for one more." Just then there was a knock on the door. Arthur burst in. He came up and thanked Mike. "Dude, you've made me $2 million in 3 days. I want to invest more, and I want to double it." That's when Mike cut him off. He said he would talk to him after he sent the rich man away. That's when the rich man got interested. Since there was such a good investment opportunity, I'd like to know more about it too. So they arranged a time. Mike would have his driver pick them up and take them to the office to talk about it. The reason for going to the office was to show the tycoon what Mike was capable of. After sending the rich man away, Mike threw a punch at Arthur. It turned out that Arthur wanted to join them, but Mike had turned him down before. This time he burst in to prove to Mike his resilience, and since everything was going well, he agreed to give him a try. The next step was to prepare to get a prestigious office, so Jack used a few people's photos. Jack made some fake work permits. The next day they walked into the fancy office building. They walked calmly into the posh office building. Then Arthur drew the attention of the receptionist. Mary took the opportunity to check out an office that was on leave. When they got to the office door, Mike took out his master key. He quickly pried the door open. Jack changed the sign on the door. A classy office was ready. All that was left to do was a fancy car. Then Mike gets in his limo, and he was gone in a flash. Then Arthur disguised himself as Mike's driver. He took the rich man and Adam to the office building. When they passed the front desk, Arthur rushed up to get the receptionist's attention. Mary took advantage of the opportunity to take them in. The whole thing worked like a charm. When they arrived at the office, Mike was very straightforward. "This is a very profitable venture, but it's illegal in one way." The rich man immediately said no problem. So Mike went on to say, "This investment is $5 million each for 5 people. Arthur and Adam would be fine with it." But the rich man was a bit hesitant. "That's a lot of money. I'll have to call my daughter-in-law and ask her." With his daughter-in-law's approval, the rich man was comfortable with the investment. Then he agreed that the cash would be delivered in 3 days. But then Arthur was called in by the FBI. The next thing he knew, Arthur was called into the police station for a chat because Arthur was the last to join them. So the FBI wanted Arthur to act as an undercover agent to give them the data on Mike's fraud. They would exonerate Arthur. At this point Arthur is a little hesitant. On the day of the deal, Rich and Adam arrive at the hotel on time, but Arthur was late. Just then there was a knock on the door. It was Arthur, but he seemed to have something to say. Before he could say anything, the FBI rushed in and surrounded them. At this point, the FBI said to Arthur, "Well done, young man." Mike was stunned. "How dare you betray us?" So he grabbed the FBI's gun and he shot Arthur right in the face, but he missed. The FBI saw this and shot Mike too. Mike was instantly shot in the head. He then collapsed. Arthur saw that his idol had been killed by the FBI. He went to fuck him, but the FBI shot him in the head and knocked him out. When Arthur woke up again, the FBI sat across from him. He asked Arthur to write down how Mike had done it, but Arthur had one word to say: "Not a chance." Mary and the others heard this and they walked out happily. Arthur was confused. What does that mean? So it wasn't just a trick, it was also a test for Arthur. And the FBL was a fake too. A few days ago he was disguised as a commissioner sent by his superiors. He was assigned to investigate Mike's case, and after Mary and the others were taken away, he was secretly released the same day. The only thing left at the station was a few boxes of fake money, and the wealthy man who took advantage of the situation. And Mike, who had been shot in the head, came out. It turns out that Mike had a device in the back of his head. When the FBI fired the fake gun, Arthur took the opportunity to press the remote control. That fooled everyone. By the time the FBI tried to find them again, they had already taken the rich man's $5 million. Long gone.